Hi, my name is Harry T, and welcome to Odejuma. Odejuma recognizes the magic of storytelling, from personal experiences to stories of adventure, from tales of resilience to finding joy in the simple things. This story seeks to inspire, entertain, and educate because there is power in the stories of everyday people, and these stories are worth telling. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Odejuma. I'm super excited. I have the crew back. If you've been following me for a while and we were on the Harry Mini journey, all the people you see have been on the Harry Mini at some point in time. It was very interesting. I'll be like, we'll be working. I'll be like, Ajifa.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. I'm ready for you.
So I managed to drag everybody on this episode. So Ajifa, Foladele, Bunmi, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good.
Oh, how you doing, Harry?
Yeah, how are you, Harry? I'm
Happy
good,
to be
and
here.
it's nice to be here. Yeah, exactly. I'm very happy to be here. I really like the name of the.
Yeah, the
pod.
meaning behind it. Tell us more.
Yeah, don't worry about that. But yeah, I like the name. But also, yeah, this is it's very cool. It's nice to be back. I think it's the first time we're having like a proper face to face. Well, not face to face, but like we always chat around.
Yeah, face to face.
Reality shows that we're analyzing. So this is quite nice.
Yes.
And very full circle with our Harry Minute as well. So yeah.
Very full circle. We've been chatting in the DMs, dragging the girls, but now
we don't drag anybody.
Okay, we don't drag anybody. My apologies.
We don't judge.
Listen, we don't judge. We've been dragging the reality shows. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
We drag the reality shows.
Those ones need to be judged and dragged.
Exactly. But the last time all of us were together in the same room in person was at Ajifa's wedding in 2021. Isn't that wild?
That's wild.
Wow.
That is wild. It's been a while, and since then, all of y'all have become mothers.
Calculating.
Yeah, because it feels
how
like
many hours since
2021.
I got married 2021.
It feels longer, but yeah, carry on.
Yeah, I know.
It does feel longer.
I've been through a lot. No, I know. It just 2021.
It's like I'm the one that has been in the marriage.
Yeah.
I know how long it has been.
I agree. It's been longer.
But guys, a lot has happened since 2021.
Yes.
That's
and
wild.
The highlight is all of y'all are mothers now. And I'm just curious to know what that is like. But I is like, yes, I am a mother.
This is the way she's dressed. Mother Earth.
Mother Earth is.
So what has that been like? I want anybody can go first. What has that journey been like for y'all?
I'm the baby mom of the group because Ajifa is the OG and then Bunmi and then me. So my daughter just turned 1 a couple of weeks ago. And
happy birthday.
Thank you. It's been quite interesting. I think I do agree that I want to say nothing fully prepares you for it, but I think maybe the experiences that could sort of help along the way as we grow. But I think that nothing fully like gets you in this in that like gets you ready. I still looked at her today and I was just like, I just can't believe that you're mine. I can't believe that with God's help we've kept a human being alive for a year. And I think considering that I freaked out so much like about whether I wanted kids and what that would look like and blah blah blah. So
yeah, I remember.
And exactly. And a lot of like praying and trusting God around that. And then to see her like she's so easy. She's like far from the fears that I had and far from the worries and but I think as people also say, you see a lot of our relationship with God sort of mirrored in kids, like how God loves us, how maybe
Amen.
Yeah, move. But yeah, so it's been wild, unreal, fulfilling, beautiful. Yeah. Amen.
Wow.
Nice one.
Nice one there. I guess maybe the just leave Foladele to speak for all of us because if I open my own mouth,
they'll be like, it's not quite giving the same experience.
Motherhood has been great. I bless God every day, like you said, for the child that God gave.
This is a safe space, y'all. Y'all can be honest about it.
Oh my God, Ajifa, I want the real.
I bless God every day that God gave my child to me. I bless God. Cut the tape. Just cut it. Because I mean, like it's been a beautiful journey. Like she said, you look at your child and you're like, I gave birth to this human. Like they're forming their personalities, they're becoming like, what's the word? I don't want to say terrorists now.
Just,
Like,
finding independence.
yes, they are adventurous
Mm-hmm.
and
Coming to
exploring.
Oh, yes, that's
Yes,
what they
coming to
say.
their own. And I think my own particularly, I think because God realized that I wasn't really about, emotional stuff or hugs and kisses and, my
So
child
let's
is
get you.
extremely affectionate. Extremely. So he needs to, like, you need to be looking at him all the time. If you're not even paying attention, you can fling my phone and pull my face towards him. And he likes hugs and kisses, and sometimes I'm just tired of being touched, but I don't complain because I know that the older they get, the harder it is to get them in those positions, in those moments. I'm presently in toddlerhood. Like Foladele said, they are still behind me, so they don't know that is the ghetto.
coming.
They don't know that is the actual ghetto. I prefer a newborn to this place that we are in. All sorts. Every day is an experience, and you just have to keep praying that God keeps you alive.
Mm.
But yeah, it's a very rewarding journey. Like it's your heart in outside your chest. So yeah, it's also a lot of worrying, a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
It's very heavy mentally. And I look at my mom and I'm like, how did you do this for 4 children? I just have
Mm.
one, and I feel like
How and why?
I'm moving. I
Art.
feel like, yeah. That's my feedback. Let me go
Yeah.
ahead.
Oh, you guys have said it. The thing is, when you asked that question, I was just laughing because the three of us have had very similar journeys since 2021, in the sense that outside having kids, we've moved countries. We have, gotten like new jobs in new countries. Like we've had like, our lives literally changed. And it's not
Upended.
because it upended, it really upended. So yeah, it's been quite the journey. For me in particular, it's been like moving 2 countries, relocating once to the UK, then to Canada. I know,
Not the double jackpot.
international
Sorry.
girl. There might be a
Double
triple.
jackpot.
Keep watching. No, nothing,
Stay tuned.
nothing. Stay tuned. But it's been quite. I would say it's been really fun for some parts of it, and I've been very fortunate in the sense that everywhere we've gone to, at least I've gotten good jobs. Hallelujah. So I've
Mhm.
gotten to, afford my life. And then obviously we're having a child. She's 19 months now. And it's a bit of Foladele and
Sorry,
Ajifa.
let me translate for Harry. That is one
But
year,
also for me, because I still
7 months.
count
yes,
in 1 year.
7 months.
Can you? Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for that.
So the problem is I thought people were doing the most when they counted in months, but a lot
But
of
you have to.
things, yeah. 18 months is not 19 months. And then even when they go to school or blah blah blah, they're like you're feeling, girl, I'm always calculating. I only know this because she recently turned it like yesterday and I feel the form. But a month makes a huge difference. Like a month ago, she might not be walking, now she's walking. A month ago, she might not be talking, now she's like it makes a big difference, right? Anyway, so a lot has happened, a lot has changed. I have changed. My daughter is not quite Kene in terms of affectionate. You kiss her, like, enough, which is fine for me. Her dad, not so much because he wants all the love and affection. I'm like, toy. Yeah, but yeah, it's cool. She is a toddler, but
Really.
yeah. So I'm still
Two.
cruising, I would say. I'm still cruising. I'm still cruising compared to compared to Ajifa, I'm very much still cruising. But yeah, it's been good. I am excited for how much the last 3 years has changed. Like I was telling Rotimi, Tex is my husband for you out there. I was telling him about I was telling him how every year for the last what I think since I got married in 2020, every year something major has happened in my life. If it's not like getting married, then it's moving, then it's having a child, or moving again. Like every year just seems to be such a year that something big has happened. And I'm curious, what would this year be like, right? So it's
Mm.
been quite the journey for me.
Yeah. I'm really happy for y'all. Really excited. Oh my God. Is that what's happening? Bunmi,
See,
Rebuke and
is that what's
reject.
happening?
I love the rebuking and
No, but this
rejecting.
one, I thought I was making a gesture of maybe
I
another baby was on the
back to
way.
the center.
You know, so double for our God gave you double for your trouble. But it is so nice to. I feel like I said earlier on, I feel like a lot has changed since, we all were in the same room together. Even before that, things were already changing. Like, we left TVC at different points in time. Foladele was the last to leave.
It took a
Bunmi,
while.
Bunmi and Ajifa were the first to dip. But things happened, with us. Our friendships evolved. Our personal lives evolved and changed. When I met Foladele, this is not how we were when we met initially. We were young and we were vibrant,
Please, I'm still young. Thank you.
I mean, we're
From
young.
there, but yes. Oh my gosh.
There are
Yeah.
days when you need to sleep at
You know what
night.
I'm saying? Bumi and I met, Bumi and Ajifa and I met in a covenant,
It's
to
been
get
a while.
together. And we were munchkins, at the time.
He says munchkin.
we were
And
munchkins.
Harry, your neck was long that time too.
Everything was long.
My neck was long. I was skinny. People never believed that I used to be skinny.
You
And
have
some
to
people
put the
that
pictures.
the Harry that I used to be, I was very skinny. Nobody believed me when I tell.
Like,
After the
not
pictures,
normal skinny. Harry was
Like
Harry was
skinny.
bare. It was dry. Harry was
It was
dry.
quite dry.
Because in TVC, because at TVC his neck was still a bit long, but
Just
I
a
remember
little bit,
seeing
yeah.
pictures. I remember seeing pictures of the length in Covenant, and I'm like,
And you're like, boo. His shoes
Ha.
used to be quite long.
long too, yes.
Harry said, "I'll bring my
This is
friends
because
on
the
the
Harry
pod."
was session. But
Exactly what I
yes,
was about to say.
my shoes were long, my pants were big. We had to wear in Covenant. You had to wear dress like corporate attire.
Corporate,
The
yeah.
class. My shirts were big. My tie was huge. You had those ties that had what was that guy in Revo that had the fat tie?
I can't remember.
You know what I'm saying? I had a tie like that. My pants were big. It was the whole thing. But I feel like I still understand that our lives have changed. We've had different journeys, and I'm super very proud of y'all. Foladele worked on Weekend. In case y'all don't know, but if you look at the credits, you will see
Wicked
Foladele
1
and
and 2.
Daddy.
One and two.
Weekend 1 and 2.
Yeah. There's
There's
a
gonna
2
be-
that is not yet out.
There's a 2 that's coming. So it's based on the Broadway show. The part
No,
1 was
I
Act
know.
1.
I know. But I just haven't even watched 1, and I probably will not. So,
Jesus.
but
Great friend.
I will watch 2. I love you so much. You know this. I will do
Ajifa,
anything for
you're
you.
fine. When I
Except
release
watch
my own
Wicked.
film, just watch. I don't mind. You don't
Eh,
have to watch
but
Wicked. Watch Kindness.
Wicked it really got to me. I can't say much on that.
Okay.
It really got to me.
I have watched it on stage though, and I enjoyed that. So maybe that's why I wasn't.
Maybe
I
you're
didn't
not
care
even
much.
better. You went and watched on stage, but you know what? The one that
The
your
film.
friend watched.
I feel like, well, she did it later. She should have done it before. No, but I shared to everyone.
This
who
is your issue. This
cared.
is your problem because I mean, how did you do it before?
Harry, let's just carry on. Don't let me really.
Carry on. This
I'm
is
so
how
sorry for
it-
like delay. Boy,
this is how
musical,
combos go.
film, no, it's not. Like,
Sorry.
I took sorry, side I'm so sorry, Harry, but sidebar. I took Sam with me to go and watch it and some friends. And he was sat
guy.
next to me. And of course out of support, just the way you would have both been tortured. And I was just like, oh my gosh, they have to sing everything. I'm like, it's a musical. He's like, yeah, but then and then they'll say something else and it could be Ariana about to respond and then, I was like, oh my god, it almost left.
And
so
they
you're
are
fine.
both wonderful singers with really big voices.
But you know, we're holding space. We're holding space.
I do love a
We're
musical. So
holding
y'all
space for
Me too,
easy
Harry.
on the musical slander. I love me.
I
a
love
great
Greatest
musical.
Showman though, so I wouldn't
First
say
of
I
all,
don't love musical. But
my favorite film is a
selective.
musical, Sweeney Todd, the
Yeah.
Demon Barber from Fleet Street. It's
Oh,
a
I
horror
haven't seen
musical,
that one.
right?
You really love Sweetie Todd. I remember the first time I met Ajifa, Sweetie Todd apologist. That's what you
Yes,
are.
well, that's what I am. So, I mean, I like musicals, but I don't know. Let's move on.
There are musicals and there
Next
are
question.
musicals.
Sorry.
So, like I said, we've all done great things. Shout out to everyone. But I think I'm curious about knowing as new mothers, what is something that people did not tell you? What is the thing that, about motherhood that, people didn't tell you that you wish they did?
Maybe I can go first. Do you know what? I find that question interesting because on one hand, I'm like, what? I feel like everything they told me, I don't think there's, so we all have very different experiences, but so I will honestly say for me, I don't think there's anything they could have told me that would quite prepare me for the things I would go through. Not because I don't know why, but like I was with my sister through her own pregnancy, and she had quite a difficult pregnancy. So I can't say like I didn't see the thing, right? I was with her at the early stages as well because we were in the same house. So I used to even sometimes sleep in the same room with Bande, my nephew. So through the crying, sometimes I would, put him on my back when he's crying in the night to give her a break. So I can't say that I didn't know all these things, right? But I will say, and this is where we may differ, right? For me, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I'm going to be honest. So if anything, that's why I'm like, it wasn't as bad as I heard it would be in some ways.
From me, probably.
Yeah, from Ajifa and a few others.
Bro, Ajifa
But in
prepared
some,
me.
yeah, but that's the thing. So sometimes, honestly, I feel like sometimes maybe being over prepared helps because then you're like, oh, that's not well. So maybe not labor. I don't think you can ever be like labor in itself is quite the thing, right? I mean, it's pain. How do you? I mean, I guess you can mentally, well, leave that one. But for the entire experience, like pregnancy wasn't bad. I think it just, as much as you know that you're going to change, you don't quite know how the change will feel for you. So that was the thing. I
That's
knew
it.
that things would change, but I just didn't know how that change, not how the change will feel but how I will feel about that change. Right. So that's just the part that I wasn't prepared for. And then how other people will react to the change. Like how my husband, for example, react to the change or how family. So those kind of dynamics, I don't think you can necessarily, I mean, you can prepare by watching stuff and, doing all the counseling and what. But y'all don't know how you're going to act when you're in certain situations. You don't know how you're going to act when you can't have sex for 1 billion years. You don't know how you're going to, you don't, this is not a PG podcast now.
As if I'll move, man.
Okay, be
Even if it's
free.
PG, what did you
Yeah,
say that
like
is bad?
thank you. I do not even say
Ajifa doesn't want
FUCKING.
Hold on, hold on.
You
Okay, are you going there? Like, just wow.
you don't know how you're going to feel when you don't feel like it. You don't know how you're going to feel when you don't feel sexy. Or not like I usually go around feeling sexy anyway. But you don't know how you're good. Those kind of things, like you hear other people's experience, but sometimes you feel like, nah, I've got this. Like I understand, so I'll be better prepared. And then you feel different, like not quite what they're feeling, but you're feeling your own kind of feeling. So then you have the child and they tell you all the time, oh, the love. But until you experience the love, you don't really know the love that they're talking about as well. So you're like, I really, really love this child. I don't know how to explain it. I love this child, right? But then this child really is frustrating me sometimes. The strength that you have, like it's amazing the things that I can do for the length of time that I can do it. Like recently this week I stopped breastfeeding, right? No, last week. And for the first time I slept all through the night. And I was like, I just realized for 2+ years, I haven't slept for 5 hours at a stretch. Like I just haven't. And I have been fine. Honestly speaking, I have
And
been. I
counting.
thought I was fine until I did sleep for minimum of 5 hours uninterrupted. And I was like, that was the ghetto. This is, but still I had the strength for that season and I didn't like, I figured I knew I was a strong person, but I now know that, wow, like, oh, that is strength. Like no matter how long the day has been, that girl doesn't want me to put her down. So I'm carrying her on my back and walking around the house for hours. Boo. And I'm still going to pull her down and because she doesn't want daddy as well, right? So and then you go and sleep for like a few hours. And in those few hours she'll be breastfeeding, mind you, and then you wake up to cook and I would be fine. I didn't know that I was that strong. So that was something else. So that it's a mix of things, right? And yeah, now I'm making hair. People that know me know that that's not my
Wait, you're
strongest
making
suit.
hair.
As
Somebody
in her hair.
else's. No, I like because I have a daughter, right? So I actually have to care about hair.
Oh,
Before we're just living a Labiba local life, whatever God gives us, we use, right?
this is
So it's
interesting. I
just
don't know who I'm speaking to. Bumi, I'm making hair.
it's not great hair, but it's hair all the same.
It's
We
not
do
great.
ponytails, we do puff
Okay.
puff, like we do
I,
the things.
I might actually have to agree with Bumi on a lot of things. I don't think that, I think I was prepared in terms of like, because I've always been interested in kids, as in terms of like liking to see kids, not necessarily of my own, but just like helping out. So whether it's a friend or like an older auntie or something, like, so kids have always been in my life since, so I've always been interested in them and helping out. So I've always been able to change a diaper. So I remember when my sister came like the day after I gave birth. I was like, just seeing me in go mode, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is so." I, I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but just to see you going and getting it done is just so. I think because of just being exposed to that, I sort of knew a lot. So I wouldn't say maybe there wasn't anything they told me about that, because I think people are very open and honest about tough raising a child is. I think maybe more around like PT and leading up to having a child. I would say maybe people don't talk about like that. I remember when so I had a miscarriage, and then my
I'm sorry about that.
yeah
Sorry,
miscarriage.
you just whizzed through that
No,
really quick. But I'm
I mean,
sorry you went
I've
through
talked
that.
about it so many times. And I mean, I'm grateful to be in a place where I can just, interesting that you said that, like, gloss over it now, because it definitely wasn't a glossy thing. And my, and I, and we're talking about it, and she was just like, oh yeah, she went through it like twice or three times. Again, glossed over it, as you said. And I'm just like, wait, chill. Like, can we sit on that or sit with that for a second? Like, how did you not talk about it? I think I remember my mom going through one loss because she tried to have a baby after me. And I remember how just raw that grief was, like coming back. You're looking in the car, waiting to see baby in her hand because she traveled out to have the child. And then she's solo in the car. And so, I remember that being like a picture I can never get out of my head. So I remember that, but that there were other miscarriages. Like, I know that. And then, you spoke to someone else and they were like, oh yeah. I'm like, why are we not talking about this? And so that was when I decided I was gonna post about it. And normally, I mean, you guys know me, I don't too deep on IG with like personal stuff, but I was just like, you know what? I felt to open up about it. And then you started getting people messaging like, oh, thanks for sharing that, And I always say that we go through these experiences to be able to share with others and uplift them when
Yeah.
they're going through this. Maybe the grief around, and just it's just very raw. And I think I'm glossing over it just because I don't want to dip the mood of the pod. But even like when you lose a child and then, or in this case, lose a fetus, and you then get pregnant maybe soon after, and you're hoping that and you are going, you won't just that.
Remember.
I don't want to go too graphic, but yeah, you're just hoping that yeah, it won't. You get so. I think people don't talk about loss. People don't talk. People didn't prepare us enough for combos around loss to do with like infant loss and stuff, and also getting pregnant after, and just the mental
Mm.
mess and the fear. Oh my goodness! And I was pregnant in the winter. I hate winter just because it gets dark like 4 p.m. Bro,
Mm-hmm.
it was drab. I was fighting in prayer for my life. Just got my mental. So it was a lot. So I think I would say more around that. But in terms of having a child off, I think I agree with Bumi that it's been so seamless, and I'm praying that it long continues.
You're going through this so we don't have to. Thank you,
Exactly,
Ajifa.
because Ajifa did prepare me for labor. She was
Oh, she
probably
did.
one of
She did.
people I've had around
Honestly,
labor.
I'm grateful for Ajifa because just like
Yeah,
Foladele, because she was so honest and she is so honest about her experiences,
every
it
day.
prepares you. Yeah, yeah. It prepares you. Just say, your breast, you dragging us. So you're not like, oh, taken by surprise. Like, I got this. I knew you were doing this. So you can even prepare better mentally as well because someone has told you just what to expect, right? And then when it doesn't get that bad, you're like, oh, I was very prepared. Now I can handle this easy.
I think that was it for me. I wish somebody. So I think that's another reason why I was honest with you guys and with anybody who asked me. So I'm not on the internet saying, "Oh my god, it's so hard," blah blah blah. But anybody who asks me, because I don't want to also be a fearmonger. Like there are people
Mm.
I know that they sneezed and the baby came out. Like there are people I know that they went through 9 months and they were walking and jumping in heels. There was no difference, right? But that wasn't my experience. And so because I know that they're different, no two pregnancies are the same,
Mhm.
I don't start spreading fear and tell everybody, oh, this will happen. But for the people who are close to me, the people who asked me, the people I knew were having babies, that was the problem that I had, is that like Foladele said, it was after I went through what I went through with my son, and my mom was like, I should have told you, first boys, it's quite tough. When their labor is tough. And I was looking at my mom
This could have been information
like,
I would have
like,
loved before.
right? All I was hearing was that your body knows what to do. When you go into the whatever, just trust your body to blah blah blah. Oh mom, my body did not know what to do. I I said I was telling her, I said, Liz, just got me. She said it's too late. I said it's not too late. Pulling from the other side. I was losing my mind. Do you know that by the time you guys know this story, by the time Kenneth came out, I was passed out. Like they had to rub like my chest to make me like to bring me
Say,
back.
Ma, your son is
And they
here.
put the child on me. And I think when I heard him crying so close to my ears is when I woke up and I realized that, oh,
It's over.
I had given birth. I would hear my husband in distance saying, her lips are dry. She's looking white. Let's do something. Like, I could hear that. But I had already seen my dad and I saw white. I was like, okay, here.
Take
Oh,
me.
wow.
Yeah, I saw my dad in the delivery room. Like when I was like, I was sure. Like, so it was after I had.
Ajifa, you should probably give context
My
around
dad
that.
is dead.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I realized the audience would be quite.
People be like, oh, that's so
my dad,
nice. Your
my
Yeah,
dad,
I was
my
like,
dad.
I was
Oh,
too
he was
stunned. The
supporting
knowledge
me.
when you said you saw your dad, I was like, so wait, what?
Yeah, so funny story, guys. Today is 21 years that he passed away.
Oh.
So that really was it for me. And so I a lot of things that I found out. My mom told me that even when she was in labor for her very first, apparently when boys are your first, the labor is a little bit is longer. Like the pregnancy is easier, but the labor is longer, according to what my mom told me, right? Even though it's not a pattern that works with everybody, right? But it's just what has happened with most people. So if I had that information going in, I wouldn't have I went to all these doula classes. They say, put ice in your hand, release it, withstand the ice. I did all the exercises. I was like,
I'm ready.
I'm gonna kick level in the ass. Like
Ajifa, I did gospel playlist. It reached one point. I said, please
bro,
off that stuff, off it, off that music.
even if Lucifer came and brought the host of the singers that he was using in heaven before he was brought down to the earth, even if they were singing
You
in that
not send
operation,
them
I
packing.
promise you, I would have not heard one single thing.
You get. I said, off that music now.
I said, if you don't get away from my side, I don't you now. I'll give you a dirty slap. Just leave my side. So that's why I was very open with people that asked me. So I feel like the thing I wasn't prepared for was the fact that yes, it can go well. Your body knows what to do, but it's still the most gruesome pain that you can ever experience. It has a tendency to surprise you. And another thing people didn't tell me, everybody said, oh, after your first trimester, I was sick till I was 7 months. I was bedridden till I was 7 months. I was getting drip every single day. And I kept waiting for that. My first trimester has finished. Okay, so I should be relieved by now. And it never came, right? So all these things, there's some expectations that they said. Another thing I want to put out there is that, Foladele and Bunmi had easy experiences. I didn't, right? But I want what it was that I don't want women to go away from this feeling like if mine wasn't easy, if it wasn't a breeze, I failed as a woman.
Yeah, nah.
There's a tendency to put a lot of pressure on ourselves as women.
And
to
it's
say,
something you can be doing.
I should be doing, or even the way Bunmi said, I didn't know I had this much strength. Or when I gave birth to my baby, the love. For a lot of women, the love
You might not have that.
Yes, yeah.
For a lot of women, it takes them months before they actually love the child.
Some women talk about how they're like, get this child away from me. I don't want to see you. They don't. And and I'm so thank you so much for providing this balance, Ajifa, and I'm so glad we're doing this. And it's so important to be having this discussion because just the way you don't want people to go away like being fear-ridden is the same way we don't want people to go. Oh,
maybe
it's
maybe
so
there's something wrong with me.
Exactly, maybe exactly. Because yes, it can be like very that. The experience is different for everyone. Even for Bunmi, the things that have been easy for her, but probably difficult
for
me.
example, I didn't push my baby because they had to cut me. And for most people, that's like, oh my God, when I tell people like it's like the worst thing, I'm like, huh? I didn't have to go through what Foladele. I'm like,
your vagina is the same.
It's intact.
I
did my
mine
first pee.
too.
Unfortunately, I cannot say the same. Good luck to Amara. That's his problem now.
But it's true. Like even conversations around tears and stuff like that. Like I had a second degree tear. I remember Ajifa had what?
I had second, but my tearing was inside my cervix.
I remember. So I remember my mind immediately went to Ajifa when they said I had a second degree because she had like fully prepared me. I'm telling you. So I was just that was the one thing I didn't want to tear because I'm just like, oh my gosh, you hear all these things, and that's the thing as well. The stories that you hear that that place will be forever. But I'm good. So
you know this. You saying
it's been tested again.
Congrats in advance, dear. Congrats in advance.
People will not be okay. You would help. All I want to say, is that stories are different. And experiences are different, but the strength comes, and I guess you figure it out. Whether I had like 6 months after my
sorry.
wrists ever. So,
Yeah.
so
I
yeah,
had
Strange,
yeah,
surgery. I had
strange
surgery
places.
6 months
yeah,
after.
strange places.
I had a cyst in my cervix
Yeah.
because of the way you guys know this Foladele.
Mhm.
No, it's that it was bleeding, and then they had to take it out because
Don't know this.
because of the way it was sewn.
I don't remember
I'm
this.
just very surprised about the stories that have been shared on because I feel like I kind of like y'all when I'm checking in with y'all like
We're like, hi Harry, say
in
hello to
person.
Tiara.
It's like it's a very chilled, and I don't know if because I'm a guy. Like maybe the deets are very important, but like it feels like yes, y'all had in general your own different individual varied experiences, but there were things that happened through that process that
Yeah.
I'm just like, damn, that really happened to y'all, and it's like I know
Yeah.
this person, like I've known, like I know all three of y'all very intimately, very intimately.
Very, guys, like
Intimately
mentally and
in a platonic
emotionally
way.
intimately.
In a platonic way. I am
Friend,
not a heterosexual man, so please let's not
Tell them.
get it twisted. But yeah, just knowing that y'all had to experience that is very like, I'm just like, whoa, it's
Mm.
something that I have utmost pride and respect for y'all. I think I'll just leave it at that.
thank you.
Yeah, and I'm happy that y'all are just even going deep and like sharing. I feel like now that you are on the other side and you are here, y'all are working, you're doing your things, your family, you're a wife, you're a mother, you're working. How has that changed the perspective of who you are or how you look at yourself now? I know Bunmi kind of went into it a little bit, but like looking at you now and looking at you in when was your trad, Ajifa? I think it was March.
2021.
Was it
March,
Yeah.
January
Abby?
or
March. I think
February?
it
Yeah,
was
it
Yeah,
was
it
March.
was
beginning
March.
of the
March.
year.
It
It
was
was,
March.
yeah. Looking
It
at
was
you
March.
now, looking at you in March 2021 when we were dancing,
We
at
will
that
No,
get
little
there.
did we
Holiday
know. Little did we
dancing
know.
at that Holiday Gudu, in our fine native.
Mm.
What has changed since then? How do you in yourself, basically?
It's changed. I think first of all, like Foladele said, my vagina. Well, it has a little bit of a bump now, but it's okay.
It's beautiful. A beautiful bump.
Yeah, okay. And
I
I
mean, I
think
saw it.
yeah, you
Oh
did.
damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she did.
No, like that's interesting information. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but what has changed? I think my ability to adapt. I think before it was more oh, if I don't like it I change it. If I don't like if I when we were younger it was like Bumi and I we walked up to the office we just made the decision day before, wrote our
Like,
letters.
yeah, we're
Quit
done
the
with this
next
place.
day. We was like guys, Bumi and I we look at each other like we need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And we wrote our letters, we left the next day. Like it wasn't it's
They
really
were
what
even
we're
like, oh, what if we
like,
increase your salary?
for like
Nah, we're done.
3 years or 2 months or whatever, right? And then also even with and then leaving TVC and then all the jobs I've done after, not just jobs, like places I've lived. Like I just moved. Like when it's not serving me anymore, I move. Like that was my things. Me, I don't have time for nonsense and all of that. But I think it's more. I'm able to adapt now. I'm more resilient as a person. I think that's one thing that has changed. Another thing that has changed is I I see that I'm trying to put this in the best of words, but I realize that I'm actually stronger than I thought I was. Like, so I've always been a strong person. You guys know my history coming from, a background of like rape and abuse and all of that, right? And then coming to be the person that I am today. It took a lot of strength to go through all of that and come out on the other side. And I thought I was like, wow, I'm a strong lady. But I am now here in Canada. The only friends I have are like, I mean, you guys know very well how we were in Nigeria, how we had that community surrounding us, and
Mm.
that was helped us thrive. So
Mm-hmm.
coming here and just having limited to no support, my husband isn't here. He's based predominantly in Nigeria. So it's that cycle of, oh, I wake up and I'm somebody else's my life revolves around somebody else now, and it takes a lot of strength to be able to go through that and still be able to chase your career, chase your dreams, and want to achieve more for yourself. Like Foladele said,
And still show up joyful, Ajifa.
like Bunmi said, yeah, because to be honest, there are many times I don't feel joyful, but I show up joyful. Like Bunmi said, I went back to school after 13 years, and you guys know adult education is not a joke. I wish I did school earlier, but
And you had a kid while you were at school.
on the other
She
hand,
had to take him to classes with
I
her
had to take him to
sometimes.
classes. I had to take him for presentations, like project presentations. I wrote an exam with him on my back, because he was ill. And as you know, when children are sick, their fathers don't exist. Yeah, it's true. They don't care that there was another person that was involved in the making process. It's just their mothers that they're clung to, or that they cling to, or that they want to take care of them and hold them. I don't know what it is, right? So I've had to take an exam with Kennel on my back, right? So I didn't realize that it was a life that I could live, like to be this strong and be able to do everything and show up every single day, I think that's really what has changed. So right now, I think it's going to be really, really hard to, like, of course you still have, sometimes where you struggle with your esteem or struggle with your, your outlook of yourself, especially because a lot of us are overthinkers. The minute you become a mother, overthink, even you have, imposter syndrome or whatever. But I think that's what has changed is that, I have been through the fire and I came out on the other side. So.
Respect, Ajifa. Respect. I love
that.
the layer that you're adding to the conversation as well. Because Bumi and I talked earlier about how maybe like raising our daughters hasn't been as tough as we had heard or like thought it would be. But we can only say that because we have
I was just going to say
physically
that.
present, whether physically or figuratively or whatever, or whether literally or figuratively partners, but also hands-on partners. Whereas for you, it's like maybe we won't be.
Girl, I will not be saying it because
Exactly.
I'm just trying to think
Bumi
about
spent
times.
one weekend away from her
Yeah,
husband.
it's like
And she called me, she's like, Ajifa, my God.
exactly. So honestly, respect. I don't know how you've done it for as long as you've done it, but just even the layer of like being in a long distance marriage, that's one convo. Then being in a long distance marriage, raising a child is like another thing entirely. So
I have to say, though, it also helps when, even though your partner is not there physically, because I had to give it to Amara. Like, Amara is my husband. I think we're all introducing our husbands. Like, I have to give it to Amara, right? Like, regardless of the fact that he's not here, he's a huge support.
Yeah.
And so it also, let me tell you, man, if you want women to fly, if you want them to see them spread their wings, you just have to be solid.
I'm sorry, I thought you were gonna say so.
What
Was she going to
What
mind?
did you
gonna say, which still applies because it's usually said, like if you want a woman to open her legs, like just be like I literally thought you were. I'm so sorry because you kept
Let me
going
not
like
lie.
this.
I thought so as well. But then she
were
said
talking
fly. So I
about
was like,
spreading her wings?
In fact, for both, the
That's
guy
what I'm
needs to be solid.
saying.
For both,
Because
it
we
needs to
need
be
to feel
solid.
safe and secure and like
yeah.
It needs to be solid for both.
Mm-hmm. And
But
it's more than just having money.
and
That
not just
helps.
figuratively, but physically solid. But what I'm saying is also helps, it also helps having, that solid person, like a pillar of strength.
Mhm.
Anytime you fall, you feel like, you know what, somebody's going to pick me up, whether
Yeah.
they're there or not. So
Mhm.
I think that too has really helped me. Harry, the problem is that you put three of us on this podcast. You're probably not going to get to half of the questions you have put down.
Yeah. I was like,
I was
guy,
looking at
this question 3.
I was looking at my questions. I was like, but you
I
know
feel
what?
like we've answered. I feel like we
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
hopefully.
yes.
I will add though to the question, so I won't repeat everything Ajifa said, but for me it was more trying to redefine what I thought my purpose was, or what I thought success was for me, or what my ambition would look like and how that would go. So I think that was maybe the toughest thing that I had to come to terms with and redefine for myself, in the sense that, so we having kids, taking a step back from like work, that had been my identity for the longest, right? It's like, oh, work, I had like a good position at some point. Then I moved and had to not quite start again, but almost start again. So was already struggling with that, then getting pregnant and having a child and having to take time away from work and like, oh my God, I could be here by now. Or all those things that you have in your head about where you want to be and how you turn up. Like, oh, now I'm the person who is having to take some time off sometimes because my child needs something and And not that I judged, I really didn't. I was empathetic with women that had to do that. But I think there was a part of me that didn't think I would be that. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's weird. Like I honestly, I'm just going to be open and say maybe I saw that as a weakness, and I'm like, wow, what did I didn't like? Oh my god, that is so silly. And it wasn't for them. It was a weakness for me to be that, and having to accept that doesn't make sense. Like, that doesn't make you less of a strong woman. What is even that? What does that mean? That, like, I really had to accept and come to terms with. Sometimes I will be having meetings and you hear her in the background, and that is just my life, because where am I going to put her if she can't be in daycare for some reason? And even though there's help around, if you can get someone to come around, it's still an apartment and her voice is quite loud, so things happen. And just having to deal with what that life is and accepting that it's okay to be a mother, to be defined as that, as well as so many other things, and not see that as a weakness or settling. So that for me was, I would say, the biggest struggle. Everything else was not bad. Like Ajifa mentioned, I have someone who is very supportive, who's very hands-on as well, right? So even with all the night times and stuff, at least I know that in the morning someone is there who can take the load off, or I can have a good bath because there's someone who is not, little things like that. Or go shopping, or even handle all the cooking because someone else has to take care of Tiara. So there's very good distribution of labor, right? But it's what I thought my life would look like at this time, and I was mostly focused on career and like goals. When I was dreaming that life, I didn't really think about motherhood, to be honest. Foladele and I've had that conversation in a long
We
time.
know.
And for the longest, I was like, I don't know if I want to have kids, to be honest. I don't know if that's my life, right? And then it happened. It wasn't even planned, mind you. We thought we were careful.
First of all, what did you think was gonna happen?
Yeah, when you have
Amen.
unprotected sex, children out there. But yeah, but it wasn't planned. And guys, we've been having it. It was fine. We didn't know this one time. Anyway, it's all right.
Not Bunmi being the one that's talking about sex throughout this podcast. Like, do you guys see? First of all, that's what has changed. The sex positivity, the body.
Hallelujah.
Bunmi is more open about these
Hallelujah.
things.
Bunmi is like,
I was in the hospital where like 20 people, I had my legs open. Like, what am I hiding again? They are put hands like this. They have done like this. All the styles.
People talk about kissing. La la.
I still forward though when I watch movies. I still forward all that. I don't need to see other people doing
Why
it.
do you forward?
It's just
So
doing
why
the
are you watching the
most.
film? Go and watch
Let's
action.
unpack
It
that.
wasn't.
But,
It's
I don't
not
know.
the sex.
Was it at your bachelorette? Because we had a co-ed for you, right? It was together.
Mixed. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was your party or it was your actual wedding where y'all were just tonguing each other down really deeply. I was
No,
like,
it would be I think it's the wedding. I don't think we're
I was
tonguing
like,
at
what
this.
is going? I was like, what is happening?
Jay.
Is this my Christian friend Bunmi Obana?
The whole day.
Praise
It was the after
Jesus.
party.
I was like, what's going on?
Harry, don't kill me. He said you were tonguing each other down deeply.
Harry's exaggerating, guys.
Deeply. It's not even exaggerating.
Ajifa was right there. Ajifa was right there.
Yo, Bunmi saying, I'm going, please. I have to go and knock. I can never forget.
Oh my god, I remember that video. We
I
have
have
the
the
evidence.
video.
We have the evidence.
In my defense, guys, I waited a really long time.
Shout out to that. Shout out to that. But I think that I'm really just happy to hear how, yes, so many changes have happened, but I'm still very proud of where y'all are at, which is really where I wanted to talk to y'all on this podcast. Very proud of where y'all are at as, working people, as parents. And I know that we could do a better job communicating, but I feel like there is no love lost, We still, like I said, we have a group chat, so no love lost. And I'm just really, really happy. And I wonder sometimes, like, do y'all ever miss being on TV? Like that, our 20s where we were on TV, I thought I was gonna be like the Nigerian Ryan Seacrest, everybody, it was like this.
That was the time Harry held on to that dream. Harry and I always talked about working at E. Like,
yes,
that was the time.
E,
Oh my
No, we're going to work at
I
we're going to work at. Yeah.
always trying to see. And she was like,
Morning. I listened to something recently and they talked about how it's okay to mourn your dreams or the dreams that you had, and and it's okay to dream again, like have new dreams,
Yeah.
right? Because we feel like, oh my god, I lost that. Hell,
Mhm.
I
dream
don't feel I
again.
lost it.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I was
I don't.
hungry. So it was a poverty job. I'm sorry. I was on TV, people loved me, but I don't a chop. No food. I enter bus. And then come out and act
You didn't
like,
enter
oh
bus.
my
I
God.
entered bus. Remember, I would enter bus.
We
People be like,
entered bus.
I'll be like, yeah.
Harry,
I'll be
Oh my
like,
God, I used to run
yes.
Oh my God,
to
Harry's
Songo.
bus
I'll
story.
be there with fish sellers and co, and I'll come out and I'll be like, oh, do you have perfume out there? Like, happy. Yes.
Bossy
What?
was a
I
thing. Harry
was-
came back to the office one day. He was like, "You guys on the bus?" They're like, "Harry, it's here. Harry, it's here. Nothing has
First of all, we just have to state that Foladele could never relate
She can't.
because she was
can't
a
relate.
rich
Sorry, guys.
driving from the beginning.
I was on the bus.
But also, like, I'll be on the bus and they'll be like, hey, is this Harry are you Harry from TVC? And I guess for folks who are watching, let's say, because I know that there are folks that I have a new community in the US now, and you all have community in Canada and in the UK, that might think that it's just the bus, right?
It's not just the bus.
The bus in America and in the UK and in Canada and in Europe, that bus is
That's
not
all we're
the
talking
bus
about.
That is
we are talking
Lozero's
about.
bus.
That's a different bus. That's a different bus transport system that
Yeah.
I can take today, right? But that bus in
That we're
Nigeria,
talking about.
That
the
I take with
Danfo,
pride.
that bus, you don't want to be caught dead in that bus.
Sometimes
Bruh.
they don't.
No
The
offense.
seats do not have any padding, so you're sitting on the metal.
Sometimes
Yes.
there are actually no seats. They
Uh-huh.
actually
Yes.
just sit.
Or you're
They sit
sitting
one
on
of these
you know that part in front
chairs.
where I don't know what that part of the car is that gets hot. Then you
Yes.
be adjusting because your
Yes.
bottom is on top of that.
Yes.
Also,
What?
for context, go on, Harry.
One time I was on Third Mainland Bridge coming to work in the morning because I lived in Ebute Meta at the time. I will go through Third Mainland Bridge to get to the office. The tire rolled off the bus on Third Mainland Bridge.
That was steady for me, steady.
And then the next thing I was hearing, Jesus, Son of God. I was like, this is what I was just like, if this is how I'm going to go. I lived a good life. I was
Guy,
TV.
and
And you to die by bus.
my journey used to be so
Harry's bus
bad
story
on Third
for days.
Mainland. And guys, I used to have a very long because I lived really far from the office. So I was
Yes,
always
you did.
so I was always getting home late, midnight. So imagine, and this was constant. And because they're trying to avoid traffic, they will enter places they don't know. The bus will not break down. All of us, Israelite journey, will not be walking, looking for at midnight. We don't know where we are. We'll just be asking people, please, where's the way to you just want to reach the highway express, and hopefully my parents will be calling, Bunmi, where are you? I said, I don't know. They say, ask around. I don't. I'll just be following people that they are not kidnapping me, taking me to my death.
Yeah, and it's crazy because we will all be on TV. All of us had a show on TV.
With our makeup
We'll be on
Harry,
TV.
I was about to say, for context for your international audience, like Nigeria is also a society that is very like about the optics and about how things look. So you can imagine that, like as you guys have said, like bus and public transport system is associated with.
Bro, I need to tell you that my show was the most watched show in Lagos State.
It was. This was the show that Harry would then come on to and that I would then come on to.
I was doing that show before I left, and Harry started doing that same show. Foladele, you also started doing that show.
Yeah, that's something.
But our show was in nothing less than 2 million homes every day.
Yeah.
I was not as popular as they were because I was a producer, so I was always behind the camera. Once in a while I'll come on. So I didn't really have a problem with saying.
So you could get away with the boss, Bunmi.
Girl, they would have kidnapped me.
But
because the places they were finding me.
I needed to give you the detail and the facts. Like, it got to a point where that show was so popular that every brand wanted to come on that show, to the point where I hardly spoke because I needed to cut to commercial every 2 seconds, right? So much so that even what's this, the time when Buhari and Jonathan were getting back, Jonathan, who is an opposing party to Buhari, who is actually our boss's friend, put his advert on.
Our boss's friend is a good way to describe it.
Our boss's friend put his, I'm not managing my life, so let me just explain it that way. Put his advertisement on that show. Like, it's like taking, it's like
CNN advertising Trump or something like that.
Forget about that. It's like Trump advertising on Kamala's daughter's
Yeah, fair.
nephew's show, or Kamala the other way, right? So it was that bad. Like that show was that popular. So I was either losing money because I needed to settle everybody on the bus or pay for all their car, because everybody thought,
'Cause they're a star.
I was trying to, they also thought I was just trying to be humble and be a part of the people. But I have some money stuck somewhere, because how can I be on TV? I'm just trying to be, a woman of the people.
So
So
we love that girl. She still enters
She
bus.
stay grounded. She's staying grounded. She loves staying grounded. So yeah, I would either lose money paying for everybody, or I would settle people on the road. There are people called area boys, which are, in other words, thugs who stay around the road and chill. So
Chill.
I settle those ones.
Hoping
and
for a quick buck.
Yep.
yeah, so
I did that all the time when I lived in K2. All the
I had
time.
to settle those
Katie
ones.
was the ghetto.
Or I either come to the office looking like,
Been
I've not
through
done
it.
plastic surgery and I'm recovering, because I will wrap my face like a mummy. I'll wrap my face
To hide the
and
identity.
So I would say I miss the outlet that it gave us,
Yeah.
because even though we didn't really have freedom of speech,
What was that?
we were able to express ourselves.
And we had good
you know.
times in just
Yeah, and
like
it was fun.
I
It was
remember
fun.
egg roll.
No, working with you guys
And
was
Go get
like,
egg
I flashback.
roll.
I flashback to working with you guys, and then the set that I would work with after. So like Harry OJ,
Yeah.
like the next gang after you guys left, because I then had to find my new tribe after you guys left. But like,
Yeah.
like I flash back to CBC a lot, and it almost feels like it's the way Bunmi talks about like dreaming new dreams. It almost feels like I can't let go of that memory, because I haven't been able to almost like
Find
replicate
that, yeah.
that like work tribe. Like it's so there's something that needs to be said about like finding a beautiful work family. Like I
Yeah.
look forward to going to work every day. Not just because I did
even
TV
with
that I love, but
bus journey.
you guys,
Ajifa is not sure.
yeah. So that's something to be said for sure.
I think that doesn't relate. But to
No.
be fair,
The
to be
hangout
fair,
I
I
love.
want to come into work with you guys.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yes.
gonna say. Yeah.
Yes. I feel like it made it better. It made it fun. I
When we
won't
go
think
for
about,
lunch, we get our rice.
you
Oh
know,
my
we'll
God.
go eat rice.
Then we
Would
will
I
now
buy
eat
egg?
akara, fish, moi corn, jollof rice,
Umbo,
spaghetti,
umbo.
all on one plate.
And then
all on
you
one
see that,
Oh my gosh, this
Foladele
was
will drop me
Harry.
off. Foladele, can you drop me off? Just, all
Yes,
right.
guys,
Harry.
just an update. My life looked up. I started driving to the office.
I
God
decided
be the
to
glory.
many places, and I think that we could also have, like, we had our moments where we had tension, but
Yeah.
we were able to see through
We
the
broke
tension.
up, you know.
We actually didn't have any issues as
Yeah.
adults per se.
First of
Yes,
all,
we didn't have
first
any
of
issues.
all,
We had issues, but
Harry and I had an issue once because of Beyonce. But let's move
Not
on.
Beyonce.
Let's move on from that.
Not Beyonce breaking up relationship.
Let's
when did
move
we have
on
an
from
issue with
that.
Beyonce?
Let's move on from that. It wasn't a major issue.
Yeah.
It lasted all of like 3-4 days. But there was a principality who we all knew that used to cause Harry to lose his absolute shit. That was when we used to have all those issues. Person will not be mentioned. They know themselves. I think that
This
was
why
the
you are
only,
problematic.
I was just like,
I think that was the only thing that really rocked our
mm-mm.
friendship, And if you ask, to be honest, but me and I till today don't really know the root cause of that problem, but we're like real friends. Do you understand? Like, and I think we are still, and that's
Yeah.
why it's so organic. Even though we don't talk every week, even though I talk to Bunmi almost every day, but
Because y'all are like 20 minutes from each other, so y'all.
yeah, Bunmi lives 20 minutes from
It'll
me.
be
But
Although
crazy
she
not to.
refuses to see me as often as I want to see her.
first of all, Bunmi, I'm doing this single parent life, so please, I'm not.
Not
Bunmi
the
will be like,
single
Bunmi
parent
will call me.
side.
She'll be like, should we take the children around 8 a.m.? I'm like, please. I barely survived the night. Just please.
Bunmi's privilege is speaking.
No, as in, the privilege is just annoying. Bunmi want to go out at 8. Then she'll call me, oh, we're taking a walk to the library at 10. Meanwhile, I've already started work because she starts work at 12. I'm in the office at 8:30, so I'm just looking at her like, what is what talking about?
What is going on here? Yeah.
I just wanted to stop by your house real quick. Girl, I'm in the office. What you like, So it's the thing about adult relationships is that it's really hard to align your schedules. I mean, talk
Yeah.
about this call, guys. Remember how long it took us to agree to find the time to do
Harry
it.
would not give. Harry said,
Yeah.
guys, so I was like, no, I will, like, it's bedtime now, but I was like, I will move mountains just to make it, like, he has stayed. You
I
people,
was like,
so
I'm just
can
putting
we
this up
then
on the
make it work?
calendar.
It's tough.
Yeah,
It's
he
tough.
did that. He literally just put
He just
a
put in
date
the
in my
calendar. I
calendar.
was
So
like,
guys,
be
that's the
there or
date.
be squared. And I said, okay, you know what? I don't want to be squared.
I
will
shall be there.
You know, but like I know we're gonna try wrapping up now because Foladele said it's bedtime and everything, and I want you all to go back to things you were doing. But like, how is it making
Foladele
friendships?
is in the UK, so that's why it's bedtime.
Yes,
Because people
Foladele is
are
in
still
the Foladele, all of us were
Because
on the same time zone. Foladele is in a different time zone.
because for us
it's still
it's still very
it's still
afternoon time.
daylight here. Um,
midday.
but I wanted to ask, how is it been? How is it been forming new community now that we are all in
Ah,
different cities? What is that
Um,
looking like for y'all?
this one I like. This is a really good question.
Especially as y'all are
I
also
think only
parents.
Foladele has the good stoke, my dear.
Yeah, this is a really good question rather. So for me, I think I was a bit skeptical about. I mean, I'm very like pro Niger. Like I can't wait to be able to move back. Like hopefully things settle and all that. But I wasn't like jumping to leave. I only left because my husband wanted to come do his masters here, and so we just decided, okay, there's a whole scheme on like route to being able to get a passport or like live here or whatever. So we decided to stay. It just made sense. But I wasn't ready to leave Niger at the time, even though I had left TBC at this time. But so I was skeptical or like reluctant, I guess is the word, of moving here because I was just like, oh my gosh. I mean, I had gone to uni here, but I decided not to stay at the time. So I had my tribe from that time, but everybody had moved to different parts of the world. So I'm just like, oh, what will it be like? So,
Yeah.
but we also moved at a time where everyone was sort of jackpine. So maybe I guess I also thought, okay, maybe it will be okay. But I was just a bit, So I would say that obviously my sister is here, and then I have a lot of friends thanks to Jackpa, which is, sorry for context for like your international audience, it's just the relocation, the mass relocation that has happened. A lot of really solid talents and solid people in Nigeria are leaving just because our government is governmenting and has been forever. And so people are leaving to find opportunities. Anyway, so I know a lot of people who had done that. So I was like, okay, I knew there would be that familiar thing of like finding those people. But I think just starting over, I was just like, but for me, work community has probably been the toughest one because my relocation story was a bit challenging in terms of like, imagine you've gotten to like senior producer level where you're coming from and you were a presenter, the show that Ajifa was talking about was the show that I would then go on to inherit. And so the fan base was solid and you'd be going on the street. You were basically a mini celebrity in your side of town. And so now come here and I'm struggling with like 21-year-olds and 23-year-olds to
Girl,
get
they
into the
left.
industry. And yeah, so that then meant like finding a tribe of like people of color, people from different backgrounds, because there are a lot of support groups here where you can find opportunities in those ways. So it took a lot of just like humbling myself, starting afresh, knowing that I decided to move here, I have to start over. So I would say in terms of life, like my tribe, it was easy to maybe adjust because there were people already here. But in terms of like finding my feet work wise and finding that community and that tribe, I think that's more where I would be able to answer that question from, and that it was challenging, but we thank God. I mean, wicked happened and things are happening. So we give God praise.
We give God the glory. Ajifa, Bunmi, y'all want to talk about how community has been for y'all, building and finding community?
Bumi, go.
I was
Bumi,
going
keep
to
it
let.
brief.
I'll keep it very brief. I don't talk a lot. For me, wow, guys, you just broke my heart. Anyway, for me, guys, do you know what? It's been tough. I'm going to be honest because I don't think I've ever had to reevaluate what kind of person I am in terms of like friendship or the kind of friends. I just always had people like in Nigeria or had family. So even if I didn't like have friends around at the time, because kind of like for Foladele, I did have a few friends that even if they didn't jump like out of the country, they moved states, and then I would be in another state all the time where I didn't really know people. But I had family, right? So I always had people. And then moving out of that, it was work wasn't quite a problem, fortunately. But then I worked remotely. You have good relationships on the laptop, but it doesn't translate to. And I want to go out. I want to like go out with friends. That's why I'm always bugging Ajifa's life, but she doesn't have my time, right? So I want to go out. I want to hang out. I didn't have to search for that, right? And I'm relatively a friendly person, so I'll meet someone and we'll have good bands, especially in like these countries that we're in. And you just think, oh my God, I've made a friend for life. And tomorrow, coffee, nobody's available. And 2 months later, I said, boy, we just live like down the road. So I didn't really understand these things. We'll say hi. And I thought, we connected. We are going to be besties. And we just can't. So I'm going to be honest, for a while, I wondered if I had a problem. Like maybe I just wasn't the kind of person people wanted to make friends with. Like Ajifa has a community. Not a Ajifa, at least you can call you can throw a party and then 10 people will turn up.
Ajifa finds them and Ajifa finds the tribe everywhere she goes.
Yeah,
She's one of them type people.
Ajifa is that kind of
From
person.
QC.
Yeah,
Don't mind her.
so
let me tell you something. For me, you went to Tomo Bead or one of all those schools, right? So like when you
so nobody exists in my.
I'm just trying to say that
I told you,
my tribe is because of the schools I went to, not
enough.
really because
So
like,
I don't even know anybody in my entire
Bunmi,
school.
I'm sorry on Ajifa's behalf.
That
Bunmi,
is
I'm
in
sorry
my
on Ajifa's
state.
behalf.
It's all right. So
But that is so-
I struggled because I had my core family, amazing, love my child, love my husband, but I've always had more. And I just didn't understand that every day, these are the only people I'm going out with, hanging out with. God, I need more. So that's something I had to just come to terms with that. Okay, you know what? You have to just reevaluate things, and it's not you. Maybe it's you. Maybe you have to find out, so just thinking through that process. And now I've let go and I am finding. So sometimes also just let go and let things happen. And small, I want to, at least now there's one person I can call outside Ajifa to say, should we go for a walk or what? And hopefully in time.
who is that bitch?
My latest friend.
Bunmi,
You said Ojo.
I really like
Like,
Alright.
first of all, Harry, let me put this thing in context for you guys. Let me tell you, first of all, the reason why I feel like a lot of people struggle with finding a tribe here or whatever, people really think that that's this tribe I'm talking about. Like, for example, I went out with them on
Mother's Day.
The last time I saw them was February. Like, I'm just trying to tell you that it's not like as if I see these people all the time. The only thing is that my sister lives 3 minutes from me. Like, I can literally throw stone from here and it would land in her house, right? So
So
that's
true.
the only. So really and truly, it's the truth now. So really and truly, that's my only
Mm.
tribe per se that I say is consistent.
Yeah,
apart from Bunmi, right? Because Bunmi, I can stop by her house on my way to work or coming back, or I take my laptop and work from my house a couple of times, right? And she has done the same. Come to work from my house, right? Once or twice. But my thing is that why it seems that way for Bunmi is because you also need to understand living in these countries. When we're back in Nigeria, we had people who were taking care of things that we are taking care of now, which freed us up a lot more to be able to socialize and have time for our social lives and cultivate our friendships, our tribe, our communities, because you weren't, like, for example, me, I am the nanny, I am the driver, I am the electrician, I am the cook, I am the mechanic, I am do you get what I'm saying? I'm a carpenter sometimes, like I'm into upholstery. It depends on whatever the need is per day. Bear in mind, there is a living, breathing toddler who I am responsible for every single day, right? And so it is tough in this part of the world to be able to have, and I'm sure, Bumi, you've seen that it's not just even me, even your other friends in Canada, like that you have, like them Jamachi and all that, like they just had a new baby and all of those kinds of things. It's tough. It's really, really hard to, be so spent. So every time I'm able to hang out with somebody, it's a huge sacrifice for me. The sacrifice, either maybe I'm losing a lot of money, or I am literally in agony
sleep
because
or rest.
I'm literally in agony because I haven't slept. Like, for example, you guys are talking about Bumi slept. She slept 5 hours since I think it's going almost 3 years now. I haven't slept more than 2 hours. 2 hours uninterrupted sleep. I've never slept for more than
Even me that I'm still breastfeeding, I still see more than 2 hours here and there. Wow.
Yeah, so I haven't slept more than 2 hours. So my body clock has now adjusted to that. Even if my son is sleeping, I just can't sleep. Even if he cries, like, children cry in their sleep and they go back.
Hey, fire alarm. That's myself.
What are you burning?
Go ahead.
So even if my
It's a
son
test, we are
cries in his sleep, I'm awake and that's it. I can't go back to sleep. So sometimes it's really not about, and that's the reason why for me, I don't feel so bad with community now. I've understood that adulting is really, really it's really tough for a lot of people, particularly even me. I'm using my experience to judge. So when somebody doesn't even call me back, I just take it as, oh, their son or their child was probably. So I think that's why, because I removed that pressure from what I'm expecting my community or my relationships to be, I realized that they're easier. So I don't take it personally when somebody can't make it or can't come or cancels. Bumina is talking about me. She has canceled on me like 3-4 times before or even more. And it's not a big deal because I understand how it works with having children and having, but at least you have support, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's tough when you move to these new places. It's really hard to form relationships, especially when you come here in your adult life. I feel like the friends we're supposed to have, we made them a long time ago when we were younger, right? Because at this stage, forming new relationships are really, really hard. Really, really, because you're a full-blown person with your own ideals, with your own values, with your own life experiences, with, it has been formed fully and completely, right? So it's hard to be able to make new friends at this point. But yeah, I have a tribe because I went to Queen's College, and Queen's College, wherever you go anywhere in the world, you find 5 million of them. Literally,
True.
I can count like 7 that live in just this. I live in an area like a suburb. 7 that live. I can count like 7 that live in this suburb alone. But that pretty much is it. But I don't see them as often as I used to in Nigeria. I don't hang out. Even me and I, we live 20 minutes away. We just take what we can. Okay, stop by. We'll stand outside in her house, talk for like 5 minutes, and we're gone. Right? It happened a couple of times, so it is what it is. We just forgive everybody. It's tough. It's tough.
I think, sir, although I want to say Ajifa is very right. There's the understanding, and for most of the time, I think we all have that, right? Because you also cancel on people, but doesn't change the fact that sometimes it is hard, even though you understand, right? It's
It's
hard.
tough.
Yeah, so I
It's
think
tough.
there's that thing where you just feel
It's
like
tough.
you feel lonely even though you're not alone. So it's not loneliness that is like, oh, I'm crying
But I
in
think
my
it should
car.
be better because you're coming from the UK. The UK is not a place that you usually like.
Yeah, but in the UK, remember my husband had his family there, and
Right.
I still had like Foladele was there, Chige, so I still had a few people. Then I was going into the office, so I made friends in the office, and my
Oh,
UK
right,
experience was really short. It was like what, a year plus.
right.
So yeah, and then
was in the UK.
no, but she used to come. Like, I think she came a few times. So we used to, and in the UK, people will visit a lot more because it's closer to Nigeria. So at every given time, honestly, I didn't feel that in the UK because there were people.
Really,
No, I didn't feel that.
I'm very really shocked. Like I know it's tough. It really is hard. And Bunmi, I love you. I know you always want to do activities. Like sometimes
I think the problem is I always want to do. I'm like, oh, let's go to arcade, let's go to that arcade, or let's
like
go
I
to
just want to
activate,
sometimes I just
let's go
want to
and
sit
sweat.
down. I just want to sit down. I just want to sit down and we eat. Or like just like because my life is an arcade. My
Yeah,
son
fair
is an
enough.
acrobat. So like
And you have to go into the office, right, Ajifa?
yeah, I go into the office, but like for this quarter now, I'm not going as much. But last quarter I was going 3 times a week. So it
Yeah.
is a
So
lot.
you wanna like rest. I feel like I think for me it hasn't really been so bad because I have friend groups here, folks that came from Nigeria. But also like I'm single, I don't have any kids, I don't have any like responsibilities. And so it's like it's easier for me to be
You're
able to
sick.
like to be that kind of thing. So I have like utmost respect for y'all. And you know what? I feel like it's nice to know that even though you don't have like I'm happy to know that Bumi, that you're 20 minutes away from Ajifa, right? Comforting to know that if there is anything, you're gonna be right there. You all have each other. You might not see each other as often as you did when we were in
I'm her
Nigeria.
emergency contact,
You,
and
you,
she's mine.
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So she can go pick up my daughter if I can't make it.
And I'm glad that is something that y'all have, and Foladele is in the UK, and there's
The whole
family.
of Nigeria is in the UK, so she's good.
Foladele is also good too. So yeah, I think that my final question is: if we were to do this again in 5 years, what do you hope we will all be celebrating?
No?
True.
Oh,
True.
well,
Okay.
I mean,
Guys,
that's
I didn't
said.
get that.
Enough
That's
said.
and that's okay,
Put in
Bumi.
the
If you don't
chat.
get it,
That's okay, Bunmi. I'll send you a
I want
text.
to get.
We'll do it in group
Put in the
chat.
chat.
I'll send you a
Well,
text.
what else do you hope we'll be celebrating?
maybe like major jobs, I would say. Yeah, because we're international now. We're in like different parts of the world. I mean, we have sense and we're really creative. So I'm hoping for like major opportunities, newsworthy moments and mind-shattering news, like work-wise.
Yeah.
Do you guys still have like, obviously you probably have dreams, but do you still have the dream? Like, do you still have something that in 5 years, it's not vague. I want this, like in terms of ambition. Like, do you feel that it's harder to
Oh my gosh, Bumi, stop. You have me in my feels because I've been wrestling with this in the last like few weeks. Just like, something things that I felt so strongly about back then and did. And then now I'm here and I'm like, I'm here. Am I still holding on to,
So
oh, like
passionate back then. Like,
I want to achieve that, but I'm not in Nigeria. So whereas Nigeria is where I want to achieve that, I feel like Nigeria is raw and ripe for that. So am I just holding on to that dream? Okay, I'm here now. Am I gonna have something of my own here? So girl, you just triggered me. So please stop.
I would say something, right? I had like a particular, and y'all know, like y'all were there. I had a particular dream, what I wanted to be, how I wanted to live. I didn't let being in TVC stop me. I had a podcast when it wasn't even cool. It was 2015.
Yes, Harry.
You know
I
what I'm
respect,
saying? I
you're
please.
the
would.
Yes.
OG
You,
before IG, my
you know
friend.
what I'm saying? I would walk, I would edit the podcast. I would walk, I would go reports, come back, record my podcast, edit the podcast before I go home. With the
Harry ATA for TVC News.
I would do
TVC.
I would do all those things, and I really had a focus on a dream. And I think that as I got older and life started to happen to me, I started to lose that because life was happening, right? But I think that this year I was really struggling with myself, really struggling with myself. I felt like I just didn't feel connected to who I was anymore. And I didn't know why. Cause, I was like, why am I feeling so disconnected? I know that, that those were the dreams of the past. I don't want to do pop culture commentary anymore. Like, that's not me anymore. There's so much happening in the world right now. I want to have much more nuanced conversations if I'm going to do something like that. But also just realizing that the fact that your dreams can just take a different way, they can evolve. They can change.
Yeah.
And so when I decided that, okay, fine, I'm going to go back to podcasting, not because I want to be the biggest podcaster or because I want to recreate what the wheel of what I did, what I had back in the day, but because I want to connect with the parts of myself that I really loved. And I want to just share that ever since I've been working on this podcast, it's been amazing. It's an investment. Yes, I had to, invest in a couple of equipment and things, but I don't feel as disconnected as I did at the start of the year. Right. And this conversation, yes, will be published to everybody on social media, on YouTube, but it's really for me. Like, this is feeding me, feeding my soul. And so I want to let you all know that whatever your dreams were, they can evolve and they can change and they can shift. Right? It can change to something new. And there is room for it to, like, you have TRJ, it can evolve into something new, you wanted to do video. Maybe now is not the time for video. Maybe now it's time to go back to written content and just sharing kind of like a Humans of New York vibe that you were going for before. And so it's like all these things can change. And that's what I'm learning, that my dreams can shift, they can change. And I'm opening up myself to see, okay, where will this journey take me as I'm moving here, as I'm being present? Because life is going to happen.
I gotta say, Harry, when you started Odumeje, I was so happy.
What Odumeje?
But I'm sorry.
Odejuma.
Odejuma.
This place now, you are banned. What Odumeje casually?
Odumeje is wild. Odumeje is wild.
When you started it,
and she said it so confidently.
I don't even know why that man's name is in my mouth. God, I beg.
Oh my God.
When you started it, I was so happy for you.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta tell you, I'm so proud of you for going back to your roots. And like, it's so obvious that you were made for this, right? It's happy to see how, it's just, I'm excited to see how you have evolved as a human being. When we used to talk about pop culture commentary in 2 minutes or less, in 1 minute or less, like we talk about things that really didn't matter, right? It's just, even when I talk to you, the conversations I have with you, this was very, very much needed, not just for everyone, but like you said, for you to see how far you've come. And I'm sure when you watch these things back, you're just like, wow, I'm definitely not the guy that I was 4 years
Harry's
ago.
matured. We're talking, I'll be like,
Harry, like, I'm talking to Harry, I'm just like,
oh my God.
like he's talking. I'm like,
like what you
Harry,
just said,
he's like,
Harry. You got
and
me in
he
my
tells
feels.
me,
I was like, yes, my
and
dreams,
and
I
Harry,
he
can
tells me,
change.
Harry,
no,
do
and
you
he tells
still
me
like
like,
food?
Ajifa, honestly, I gotta give you grace for. I was like, give me grace.
I'm, I-
Hello,
I'm holding space. Harry, do you still like food?
please,
Do you?
please,
I love
please,
food.
please.
I'm trying to not. That's the one thing I would never change. I'm trying to now, calorie.
Accept
Embrace
it.
it.
I'm on a
But then again,
fitness
Harry, you
journey.
now like cook. Like I saw you like when we were
Yeah,
talking, Harry was arranging his
yeah.
plates. I was like, okay, you go. But also, I want to say on this podcast, I'm so proud of you and the person that you are
Mm-hmm.
now, and how I think you've finally gotten to your own, where you know who you are, you're unapologetic about it, and you're not scared to have uncomfortable conversations with anybody, right? And in any space, and you're not afraid to also
And he's never
defend.
been. And he's never been as well.
Yeah, 100%. But
Yeah.
right now, but before, if I convinced Harry, he would be like, okay,
Mm.
and the conversation will end. But now, Harry will definitely make a point to let you know that I don't agree with this,
Mm.
but it's okay for you to have your opinion. But I don't. But it doesn't align with what I believe. And also, another thing that has happened to Harry is that he's able to also recognize people that he doesn't need in his life for different reasons, and able to walk away from those situations, which is stuff that back then he struggled with. I'm like, Harry, just clean break, let it go, you know?
Yeah.
Which shows that you've really, really matured and evolved as a person. I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. And I can't wait to see you in the next 5 years, because I really feel like you've opened, the gates for something. Yes, but does it say gates of hell? God
Open the
forgive me.
floodgates of heaven.
Or the
You
floodgates of
opened the
heaven.
gates for
Yes,
something
heaven,
that could
heaven.
be really, really amazing.
Yeah.
Ajifa, thank you for
Yeah,
leaving us there. So
yeah.
my madam is crying, so I do have to go. But I just wanted to also add to that and say that, like, I think for me, I just want to say how much respect I have for the OGness of this, or like Harry, you were doing things like
You were
I think
ahead
you've
of your
always been
time.
ahead of
100%.
Yada magazine, like
you.
Harry's,
Yes,
or Harry set
I
the pace.
like you've been
you've always
consistent.
been ahead of the curve. You've always had vision. You've always been, and so even for you, where it felt like, oh, what am I doing? Where do I go? Blah blah blah. I think
Right.
what we see is like you've always been ahead. You've always had a plan, even when it was not cool to
Yeah.
do these things. Even
Yeah.
when
And you've
people were
done
like,
it.
"What's this one?" The
We had plans, but
consistency,
you did it.
Yeah,
yeah, the
Harry.
consistency,
It doesn't matter if he fails, if he succeeds,
yes.
Harry will do it.
Yes, and those things. The other day, I can't remember if I don't know if I googled your name or like I googled something that just took me back to one of the Harry minutes we had done years ago, and it's like stamped on Google on the web forever. And so for me, it's just like, yeah, I just want to say like how much respect I have for that, and even what you said, like we came on to share our story with you, and for you to maybe be inspired or think it's cool, but I'm leaving feeling like I've been reminded that like my dreams can
Yeah.
evolve, my dreams
Yeah.
can shift. I can go
Yeah.
another route. And I've been talking about how like, oh, do I want to do a podcast? The whole world is doing podcasts. Who is now listening? If everybody's doing podcasts and that. But then
Same. Oh my
Ajipa
God,
just
same.
reminded me. Oh yeah, but Ajipa just
You
reminded
want
us
to
of
do
the fact that
podcast?
I want to
Since when?
produce, and if I can't produce on a large scale like we used to, I'm like, I want to produce content that is
in like
mine, so
small,
not
yeah,
work. Yeah,
Oh, right. Oh, I know that.
yeah.
Sorry. I thought
And
you
so I'm just like, yeah, but you were doing podcasts before people even were talking about it. So it's
when
like
it was only SoundCloud we had. Like
that
yeah.
when it was only SoundCloud we had. Harry, your dedication. I just need to say it's like on this platform, we would be doing work and he'll be committed to that work.
Oh,
You
he'll
know,
give his
he did not cut
time.
corners with work. Harry would
100%.
do the
God.
work, do it diligently, and then he will still find time for his dreams. Like hours later, come, oh yeah, you guys, you're on the pod today. This is what he will sit and edit, and the episode will be out on the day he says it will be out. Bruh, respect. And I think there's something for me to take away from this, like just be inspired. Don't cry because you're gonna set me off. Don't cry.
I really try. I really try not to cry because y'all have no idea how hard it was. The start of the year for me, it was really hard, and I felt like I was in limbo. I was just in limbo, and maybe I am in some areas of my life, but I feel like I needed to go back, and I want all of us. We are all on different journeys in our lives, but I need us to go back. The things that you were saying to me at Ajifa, Foladele, Bunmi, y'all were also doing great things at the time, and y'all had dreams and passions that was motivating us. We all will talk about our minds were expanding, and I don't want us to lose that. However way we can nurture that, just keep going. And the reason why we are in the space that we are in, It's because God has willed it so. You
Mm.
know, in this point in our journeys, we are where we are supposed to be. So
Mm.
please, whatever way it is, even if it's on a small scale, even if it's 5 views or 10 views you have, whatever you do, keep it as motivation to keep going. You don't know who's watching. And you don't know who will be inspired, number one. And you don't know whether that will be this next step. And also, we are all doing big things in our own way. You know, it looks different, but it's huge, you know. Wicked was huge for that day. That was a
It
huge,
was. It
huge. You have your
was.
name in the credits forever. IMDb stamped. You know what I'm saying? So you need to hold on to that. Hold on to that.
Man, thank you,
I know
Harry.
you'll have to leave, but I'm really thankful. Thank you all so much. I love you all so much.
Love you
Hopefully we
Love you
too.
can do
We
this
guys.
again
love
Love you
you.
all.
sometime. Take care of yourself, y'all.
We
And
will.
to the folks watching, thank you for watching. I will see you on the next episode.
If you made it to this point,
You made
thank
it to
you.
this point. Thank
Like,
you.
subscribe, and share.
Yes,
Yes,
please. Yes,
hit
please.
the
Click
subscribe
the
button below.
thank you and Odejuma.